My name is Steve Anderson. I'm the Director of Student Services at Provo College American Fork. I'd like to welcome you all here tonight. We're glad that you could come and join us in this joyous celebration of commencement for these fine students at Provo College. Many of you are family and friends and have a vested interest in the future of these students, and we're glad that you were able to come, and we're glad that you were able to help and support them over the last couple of years as they've pursued their degrees and their diplomas at Provo College. Typically, we have our campus president run the show. He had a family emergency and couldn't be here tonight, so he's asked me to conduct. So I will be doing that tonight. So first of all, would the audience please rise? Thank you. Everyone may now be seated. Hey guys, how you doing? Are you ready for this? Good. That's what I like to hear. Perfect. Well, again, welcome. We're glad that you could make it here to the Tabernacle at American Fork to celebrate the class of 2012. These graduates have worked very hard, and they are well-deserving of these degrees and diplomas. I've worked at Provo College for the last year, and I've had the opportunity to work with all of these students and get to know them, and I've really appreciated all the fun that we've had together. We'll follow the program as outlined. First, we will hear from our student speakers. First off is Michelle Moore. Michelle Moore is the mother of a beautiful 12-year-old girl. She moved to Utah in 2011 from Colorado to change careers and follow her lifelong dream to work in the criminal justice field. Prior to coming to Utah, Michelle worked in the field of pathology for 21 years. Michelle will soon move on to the bachelor's program in criminal justice at Eagle Gate College, Murray, one of our sister campuses. Following Michelle, we'll be privileged to hear from Linda Wanvik. Linda is a wife and a mother of 9 kids. Her family moved to Utah in 2005 from California. She loves to design and create whenever she can. That is why she chose the graphic design field. Now she can do what she loves and get paid for it. What a concept. We'll go to that point. Thanks.
Hello, my fellow graduates. Thank you, Steve, for that kind introduction. For all of those of you who do not know me, I'm Michelle Moore, majored in criminal justice so that I can go and get my degree in, I'm going to go get my bachelor's, and then I want to do crime scene investigations. I also want to thank all of the friends and families that are here to support their respective graduates, as well as the faculty at Provo College for being with us today. We are all going to receive our diplomas today. While I was thinking about what it means to receive a diploma, I tried to put myself in the shoes of an average student. Really, it wasn't that difficult to do since I know what it's like to pull an all-nighter, eating cold pizza in the mornings for breakfast. And I thought what it would mean to receive that diploma. My first thought was simple. I paid all this money just for this little thing. But of course, there's more to the diploma than just a piece of paper. And it's not totally about being a graduate of Provo College, as proud as we all are of those. Instead, there's a lot to the diploma we don't consider, and I want to discuss with you now. To get on this stage today, we put in a lot of work and a lot of time. It's not a matter of filling in the blanks and you just simply receive a diploma. There's many students who don't make it as far as we do. While we might not have the dropout rate of the U.S. Navy SEALs training program, there is a required level of dedication to one's education that needs to take place before we can step up and receive our diploma. That commitment to our education is a powerful thing. It suggests a commitment to ourselves and a healthy respect for ourselves. Not only that, it shows that we believe in ourselves. None of us in this room can honestly admit that we always feel like that we always feel they never amount to anything, because otherwise we never would have pursued our dreams so ardently. Once we have our diploma in hand, what will it mean for us? Some of us might hang it on the walls in our offices. Others might store it in a bin in the basement. We certainly list ourselves as college graduates on our resumes. Good luck to all of us on the job market, by the way. But what will it mean to have an associate's degree? For me, I know it means that I'm willing to put in time and effort for bettering myself. Because by bettering myself, I improve my conditions for my beautiful daughter, Amanda. And by improving conditions for her, I improve my world. I will also be able to show my daughter that hard work and dedication pay off when you're committed to a goal. That's where our journey has to start, right with the person you see in the mirror, the person you have to live with every day. Without your belief in yourself, you'll never know how far you can get. Have you ever encouraged a friend to go after their dreams and were frustrated when they had so many self-doubts? Well, we can't let ourselves have those same self-doubts. That's what the diploma represents, the fruition of our belief in ourselves. And so, class of 2012, it's time to take that diploma and put it to good use. While we celebrate all we've accomplished today, I hope our hard work thus far is only an indication of the help we can provide the world. Thank you to all of those wonderful people who supported us and the fantastic teachers who have helped us make this possible for all of us.
Well, that's a tough one to follow. Oh, well, for all of you that do know me, I'm not typical. I'm not a typical mom. I'm not a typical Mormon. I wasn't a typical student. I made everything more complicated than it should have been, and I went overboard. But that's me. So I hate to disappoint you guys. This is not going to be overboard. It's going to be nice and sweet. When I first started writing this talk, or the speech, I should say, I wrote it like 4 times, and each time I got rid of it because something was wrong. Something was wrong with it. And then I realized this isn't about me. It's about all of us. And everything that we did, okay, I'm using it. Everything that we had to accomplish, everything that we did to get here. We all made sacrifices. And it wasn't just sacrifices of going to school, being on time, doing our homework, but we missed out on family activity. We missed out on being with our friends. We missed out on a lot of things. And I just want you guys to know that it was worth it. Each and every one of you sitting here, we did it. And I want to thank everyone sitting out there, all of you, for your sacrifices. If you didn't support your loved ones, and you weren't there for them, and willing to not have them there, we couldn't have done this. So I want to thank you all very much for supporting us. I want to thank the teachers and staff. I know it's their job, and they get paid for that. But they didn't have to care. They didn't have to ask us how we were doing. They didn't have to help us when we were ready to quit. Matter of fact, I think it was like 2 weeks ago I was going to quit, but Gary wouldn't let me. So they all sacrificed. so much easier for you to walk away and say, oh, I'll go to college later. You guys were smart. You didn't have a family to take care of. You still had a job. You still missed out on your friends. But you made a smart choice. I'm proud of you guys. I want you to remember these 2 words. When you hear someone tell you, you're not smart enough. You can't do that. I was told I wasn't smart enough. I was told I wasn't going to graduate high school. I was told don't bother going to college. I was actually told I better find a husband quick because I won't be able to survive in this world. My teachers told me that. My counselors told me that. People I'm supposed to look up to. So if anyone tells you you can't do it, or don't waste your time, I want you to tell them, forget you. I want you to do it. Prove them wrong. I would love to send them my grades right now and an invitation to this graduation to tell them that they were wrong and I did it. I want each and every one of you to go do what you want to do. Sorry. I knew you were going to do that. Go do what you want to do. Okay? Don't listen to anyone else. Because if you're doing what you love, you're going to be happy. And if you're happy, your family's going to be happy. And if your family's going to be happy, you're going to have a perfect life, no matter what comes before you. I love you all, and I want to miss you all very much. And I want to thank you for sharing this journey with me. And remember, thank your family. Give them hugs and kisses. Thanks your friends, your real friends, because they were there for you. Thank you, and go do it.
Thank you, Michelle and Linda. Those were great. Next, we'll be pleased to hear from our commencement speaker, Councilman Clark P. Taylor of American Fork. Clark is currently serving his 2nd term as a city councilman for American Fork City. He is the president and owner of BTH2 Incorporated, a marketing and advertising agency located in Provo. Prior to starting BTH2, he worked in the software industry, most recently as vice president of North American marketing for PowerQuest Corporation. He and his wife, Ann, have 5 children and 1 grandchild. Councilman Taylor.
I'll tell you, standing here, I should be the one that's applauding you. This is kind of hometown boy makes good to be standing up in front of you and doing this. And I really appreciate the opportunity. In behalf of the mayor who provided me this opportunity, I want to thank you for being part of our community and commend you for your incredible accomplishments and what you have done. I loved the words of Michelle and Linda and the things they said. When she said we did it, I just have this rush and this good feeling, and you certainly have, and you want to be commended, and I want to do that. It's a time when you can really pat yourself on the back and bask in the glow of what is now yours, your diploma or your degree, whatever it might be. You've accomplished something that the majority of people will never do in their lives. And my advice and my counsel to you tonight is to really live that up, to really take advantage of that and beat your chest and feel good about that and do it all the way till Monday morning. And then when Monday morning comes, forget it. And this is why. I'm a big John Wayne fan, so some of you in the crowd will understand where this is coming from. But in 1972, before some of you were even born, in 1972, probably the greatest John Wayne movie ever came out. It was called The Cowboys. And the setting for The Cowboys was John Wayne is a rancher in Montana. And he's a cattle rancher. And it's the time of the gold rush. And it's coming time for him to get his cattle to market. And it just so happens that all of his hands and all of the people and all of the men of that particular town where he lives in Montana have fled to California. They've got the gold fever and they were on their way. And he has no way to get all of his cattle to South Dakota, to Belle Fourche. And so he looks for every resource, and the gentleman in town suggests that he talks to the school and the schoolboys. And so he goes and has a look, and it's not promising. He goes back and tries a few other things and realizes that that's his only choice. But his counsel was very good, and this comes to my Monday morning comment to all of you, is that he walks in after he's surveyed the situation, after he's tried everything else, and he comes to the classroom, and he excuses the teacher, and he talks to these young men, and he tells them, to the boys and the girls, but the boys are the ones that he's taking on this trip, he said, the first Monday after school ends, I want you at my place at 5 a.m. Bring a bedroll, bring a gun if you've got one, and come with teeth grit. Because, gentlemen, that's when school really begins. And that's a lot the way it is with you. Many of you have had careers at some point, and you're changing now. Many of you are embarking on your first career. But when Monday morning comes, that's when you go out and you try to make your mark. And this great accomplishment that you have here, you will do it justice by how you go out and attack the market, the opportunity, whatever it might be, for you to take advantage of. And since I'm just a good old hometown boy from American Fork, I want to give you counsel that has been a benefit to me. I've had measured success in my life. I'm certainly not here to pound my chest and tell you how awesome I am, because I'm not. I'm just like all of you. But I have, fortunately, had some good success. And it certainly isn't because I'm a brilliant man. Quite obviously, it's not because I was a handsome man. But I can tell you this. For every opportunity that I have been given, I have worked my very best to try and do that. When I was a little kid, my mom and dad found this picture. I don't know whether it was in a magazine or where it was. And one morning I woke up with this picture in my room. They pulled it out of a magazine, they put it in a frame. And it was a picture of a little boy. The little boy was in some covered overalls, and he had a shovel. He was probably 3 feet tall, and the shovel was obviously double his size. He had his faithful dog at his side, and he had a little can of worms down there. And this little guy was just working, and working so hard. And there was a signpost, or a sign, some wood slats that were on the post where he was working with this big shovel, and in this hole that he was digging. And it said, "Sitting and wishing won't change your fate. The Lord provides the fishing, but you've got to dig the bait." And so it is with life. There are many opportunities out there, but hard work is going to make all the difference in the world for you. The way you go out and attack the opportunities that are yours. And quite literally, with the job market the way it is, you need to go out. You need to be better than everyone else. And it's going to take a lot of hard work. But you've already showed that you can work hard. You have finished. You've done it. Now, the new beginning that comes to you on Monday morning, you go out and you start all over again. And you apply that same stick-to-itiveness that you've had to be able to get your diploma or your degree to whatever your chosen goal is at that time, to go out and to do that. Many people believe, well, I have this dream of what I want to become. And if I hold on to that dream and if I maintain a positive attitude, I'll be able to achieve that. Well, that's great, but a very wise man once said, vision without work is dreaming. Work without vision is drudgery. Work coupled with vision is destiny. And that's truly the way it is. You'll never be shorted because you worked too hard. You'll never be sorry because you worked too hard. And that leads to my second point. Whatever you do, get rid of the T-ball attitude. Now, this counsel is good for everyone, regardless of your age. But the T-ball attitude, let me tell you why I call it the T-ball attitude. T-ball teaches a number of wonderful things. And it doesn't matter whether you're a sports fan or not. This applies to everyone. You start out in T-ball, and it's great. You learn positions, you learn some different skills, you learn to play as a team, you do a lot of neat things. But the bad things about T-ball are no one ever gets out. Everyone always gets to bat, and you never know who wins or loses. But the world is just not like that. The world is a competitive place, and for every job you go to apply for, there'll be 10 people that want that job every bit as bad as you do. And the way you apply yourself and the way you go after that is going to be important, because there's just not a lot of people that are handing things to people because they're good folks. Everybody's working harder now. Everyone's struggling through this economy, and it's going to take much more. Entitlement, there just isn't that much. There's going to be times when you get out, and instead of the coach patting you on the butt and saying, "Good job, stand right here," I said, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do. You'll need to find work elsewhere. Or we've had to cut back. Any of those things. And you are going to have to pick yourself up and go forward and make a change and be able to do that. No one owes you anything. And that is the real truth about this life. As you dig in and as you go, you earn what you get. And you will be able to accomplish great things. Again, you've graduated. You've finished. You've done more than most of the people in the United States will ever do. So as you go forward, as you go out, strive with all your heart to make a difference that way. To put your heart into it and realize you earn what you get. And you go out and you get it and push for it that way. The last thing that I want to tell you that I think is probably paramount is adopt no comfort zones. We tend to get in ruts that we really like that feel good, and therefore we become immovable. No, I don't want to do that. I don't like to speak in public. Or no, I can't go in. I can't lead that discussion. I'm so backwards. You do it. I'll be right there. I'll support you. I'll do whatever I need to do. Or I just can't afford to kind of put myself out on that edge. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, getting out and putting yourself on that edge will make all the difference in the world. When we get stuck in our ruts and our comfort zones that we create, we don't see the world as it can be. We see it as we want it to be. And let me just tell you a little life lesson from a personal experience I had. In 1992, I was working for a company in the Valley called Word Perfect. Some of you may have heard of that. Word Perfect had a lot of great things going on. And I happened to be in what was called the Macintosh division. Now, many of you know much about Word Perfect. They were a DOS and a Windows company, and it was one of those things where they kind of had to have the Macintosh division. Well, I was in the kind of have-to-have division, and so they didn't pay a lot of attention to us, and therefore we ran all of our own advertising, all of our own trade shows, and did all of these different things. So it was kind of up to us. I was literally in my dream job. The people that I worked with were absolutely some of the best people that I'd ever been around. And not only were they work associates, they actually became fast friends of mine. And I was comfortable. I was making a good salary. Things were good. I couldn't imagine things getting any better. I'd just been given charge of 2 new products called Letter Perfect and Word Perfect Works. Word Perfect Works was a program that had a spreadsheet and all of these different things. And you guys are probably looking at me like, Word Perfect Works from the dark ages. But it's... These things were quite important, and I had been able to be in charge of those as product marketing manager. One day, my supervisor called me into his office, and he said, Clark, there's going to be a change in the company, and you are going to be moving into our new consumer products division. I said, I didn't even know there was a consumer products division. And he said, yeah. And I said, so who else is going to be going with me? I got to have someone on the team, right? And they said, no, you're one of 2 people in the existing Word Perfect Corporation that's going into this new division. And I said, well, one of 2 people, who were the other people? They said, well, Word Perfect's just acquired a company out of San Francisco, and they're bringing their full team up there, and you're going to become a part of their team. This wasn't in my plan. This wasn't what I saw happening. This wasn't with my people who are friends now. I was getting a new opportunity, but all I could see was, holy cow, I'm going with people from California. They don't know the Utah culture. They probably work from 6 a.m. in the morning till 4 a.m. in the morning. I don't want to do this. And the choice was, well, the job is there, or there is no job. And so I said, okay. Well, rather than taking advantage of the situation and grabbing a hold of it, I whined. And I remember each day not hanging out with my friends, I would go home for lunch. And I would go home and I would lament, and I would talk about the terrible situation that I was in and how I had been done a terrible injustice. I'd been working so hard where I was, and I was doing so well. And why in the world would they change me? It's just not fair. It's just not right. And my wife would just listen. And probably a little discouraged that I was such a whiner. And so after about a week, I realized that I wasn't going to get other employment that could pay me what this job was paying me. And I needed to buckle in and kind of pull myself up by my bootstraps, if you will, and get to work. And so I went in and I started to embrace my situation. And I found out that the people that I worked with, their culture, their work ethic, and everything else while not necessarily any better, was quite a bit different than what I was accustomed to, like I had taught. And I started working very closely with my vice president, who was a gentleman just a year younger than me. And he had been on the cutting edge of this deal. He brought his company to notoriety. That Word Perfect would come in and buy them. And I started working very closely to him, and I watched the way he did things, and I learned things. And all of a sudden, I was promoted. After about 4 months, I was promoted to a director. While my contemporaries, where they were, had kind of remained the same, I had taken a jump. And things started to change for me. All of a sudden, I wasn't in the comfort zone. The things that I had never done before, I was actually stepping out and doing great things now. And then another company came in, acquired Word Perfect, and a lot of changes were made. And because I was a director level, I was able to stay, and I didn't get laid off. That was a great benefit to me, but had I had to choose that, I never would have done it. The people that I'm working with were fantastic people. They're still people I think a lot of, but I wouldn't have gained the expertise and the knowledge that I needed to be able to go out in 1998 and start my own business like I did. I worked very closely, as I told you, with this vice president who was my boss. And he had different philosophies, and I started to learn all these different things. And when the company was purchased, some investment bankers from California came to get him. And I thought, wow, he's getting a cool opportunity. And he actually did get a cool opportunity. He was taken back to California, and he became the chief marketing officer for a little company you may have heard of called Yahoo. And several years later, he sold his shares for $400+ million, and now he owns part of the San Francisco Giants. But and if I were to see Jeff Mallett today, I could talk to him. We could discuss other things, and I could tell you exactly how my life benefited because I knew him and because I followed the examples, and I learned to work in different ways, and it has made all the difference for me in the world. But the point is, if I had to make that change, I would have never done it. I would have stayed in my comfort zone. And I promise you, out on the edge, learning and growing is where you're going to find the greatest opportunity. That's where you're going to become even better than you are now. That's where you're going to perpetuate the goodness that you have achieved in this diploma or this degree. I want to leave you with one quote. Commencement speeches are typically filled with all kinds of quotes from famous people, and I only gave you a John Wayne quote and some personal examples. But this is a quote I would like to personalize for you because I believe it's very applicable, and I'm sure you've heard it before. It's from 19th century essayist Ralph Waldo Emerson. And he said, "What lies behind us?" And I'm going to personalize it, so let me back up. What lies behind you and what lies before you are tiny matters compared to what lies within you. You have accomplished great things. Now go forward and conquer. Make your life what you want to be. Do what you want to do. Work hard, buckle up, and go make your life what you know it can be. Get rid of the comfort zones. Be willing to work hard. And know that you're not entitled to everything. And happiness will be yours. And I certainly hope and wish that it is. And I thank you for this opportunity and say all the success you can achieve, I hope you do so. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Taylor. We appreciate him being with us tonight. Before we move on to the reason we're here, I'd like to thank a few people for being here tonight. First, we'd like to thank Matt Chambers Sr. for our music, and also Matt Chambers Jr. for our photography. And yes, they're related. Also, if we could have all of the faculty and staff of Provo College stand so that we can acknowledge you. All right, now to the reason we're here. I'm going to invite our Associate Director of Academic Affairs.
Graduation just as much as you guys, believe it or not. Always gives me a little warm fuzzies as well. Will the graduates please stand? Upon the recommendation of the faculty, it is my honor and privilege to present the Eaglegate College, Provo College graduating class of 2012. Will the graduates prepare and receive their degrees and diplomas? Just out to your left here, and we'll call your name one by one.
Jody Brown, accounting. Jose Ventura, business management. Maria Sanchez, business management. John Rasmussen, computer network administration. Jonathan Doan, computer network administration. Alex Gonzalez, computer network administration. Charlie Lauder, criminal justice. Michelle Moore, criminal justice. Daniel Pope, criminal justice. Wesley Perkins, criminal justice. Sydney Imlay, graphic and web design. Kaylee Greenlaw, graphic and web design. Aubree Stallings, graphic and web design and web design and animation. Taylor Coonsey, graphic and web design and web design and animation. Chelsea Bushman, medical assisting. Audrey Padilla Edgar, medical assisting. Alexis Wallace, Sharon De La Cruz, medical assisting. Miley Irene, Cindy Routson, web design and animation. Lance Stubbs, web design and animation. Sean Olson, web design and animation. Linda Wadwick, web design and animation.
Will the audience and the graduates please rise? By the virtue of the authority of the Board of Directors, it is my honor and privilege to confer upon you your degrees and diplomas in your major field of study with the rights, privileges, honors thereunto pertaining. As a sign of your graduation, you may now remove your tassel from the left to the right. Ladies and gentlemen, the Provo High class of 2012. Congratulations. College. Will the audience please remain standing while the graduates leave the auditorium? Thank you.